Action. We started by discussing our problem, explaining our problem to each other, and mine was that I want students, they're going to have a lecture on Pierre Bourdieu about cultural capital, and I want to make sure that they've got the concept of cultural capital in their head, so that they can then go and write their essay looking at critiques of it and positives, strengths of the argument. So in explaining that to Tahsin, it helped me thinking about what I want to get across to the students, and it's about expressing the idea that your outcomes in life aren't just linked to sort of economic wealth and how that stratifies you into different classes, but that there are cultural things which also affect your outcomes in life. And I didn't actually buy anything because I don't like spending money, but we went round just having a look, or the other way, that was us collaborating, just having a look at different images of people and thinking about how they display their cultural capital, how people do in the way they dress. There's quite a few images just of different ways people dress. And then what I want to do is ask the students, for example, these people are going for a job interview at a high-end hotel. They want the job on the front desk, they've all got the same qualifications, but which people do you think would be hired for the job? And then to get them discussing what might impact upon them being hired if they have the same qualifications. That was mine.
Thank you. Yes, first I must say that I have actually a great pleasure working with Juliette. We started by explaining each, the problem, if I could, call it problem, to each other, and we had an understanding, a mutual understanding of each other, although we have like different aspects, different areas. My session that I had actually last Tuesday was about slope stability. This is like an engineering aspect. So this is one out of two lectures that I need to give to last final year students, which lasted 3 hours. I mean, a solid 3-hour session, because it's among another 6 sessions of similar but different areas. Now, the basic problem is I need to show the students how, when they're designing embankments related to highways and railways and similar, they need to look for many factors which are involved in those designs. For instance, I made some pictures regarding 2 bridges, one for like a path, small footbridge, and the other one is for vehicles, so that bigger one. Each one would have different design aspects. For instance, the bigger one would have to support large vehicles, for instance. So the loads are one of the main factors which are really to be taken into consideration. So when I was actually discussing this with the students, they're really interactive in knowing how to get involved with the design and what they should have actually get out of the design, and what are the factors they should be actually concerned of. Now, one thing actually came to the surface is how confident that we should actually be when we design those kind of structures, and the confidence would depend on the factor of safety. Now, the question was, what is the factor of safety that would make us confident when we design those kind of structures? And my answer was that it depends on the type of structure, the type of loading. Many factors are actually involved. So I have actually put 2 different types of bridges, 2 different types of loading, 2 different types of design aspects. Those will determine the factor of safety and the level of certainty, if I could call it, to those people who design those kind of structures.
And you were going to zoom in, weren't you, on the bridge? Alex recommended a
That's
program
right.
that could show you to zoom in on the bridge
Yes.
and blur out the background, and then you're going to get students to think, you know, this is the bridge
To
we're
think
thinking
that's
about,
right,
and
yeah.
then to zoom out and circle the things in the background that might have a
Those are the
factor on
factors which
yeah,
have to be actually be clear actually.
so they would spot all the different
Yes,
factors
that's
that
right.
would affect this
Thank you.
safety
Yeah.
rating.
You mentioned when we met as well about this idea of like detail and big picture as well, didn't you? Like focusing on detail.
Yeah, that's
you know,
what
the whole-
Tahsin was saying. When we were kind of boiling
Yes.
down the problem, it was that you needed them to be able to consider the bigger picture. So it was that
Yes,
physical
that's
zooming
right.
in and then getting them to
Yeah.
look at the bigger picture.
That's why I said, you know, Juliette actually understood the problem, although she is far away from this kind of
I
aspect,
don't
but she
design
has
bridges.
given me some more ideas, and she took the pictures actually for me, which I think they're fantastic. Yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, it was good to talk through the project, the problems, and get a different perspective on what the sort of main issues were.